I'm back again, and I'm gonna field 2 questions with, and kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. One is scoring of MMA fights. This comes about after the Hammil Bisping fight, and kind of how to score certain aspects of it, and why do I think Matt Hammil won. All right, let's start. Do this round by round. Round 1. Now, of course, the UFC's idea for scoring is effective striking, grappling, aggression, and octagon control. These are the 4 main things that they focus on. Well, Hammil had Bisping backing up and not particularly effectively counter-striking. Now, Bisping did flurry, but most of it was blocked, so that's not effective striking, really, and Hammil's shots were landing. He took him down. Now, takedowns on their own are points, just not a lot of points. In the past, the UFC had always overscored takedowns, but I still believe that, even if you look at a submission grappling match, which inevitably goes to the ground, you get points if the guy pulls guard on you. This is a recognition of a takedown is points on its own. Just without the accompanying things to go with it, it doesn't get as much. And also, of course, if a guy is active below you, he gets points for being active, and more points than you got for the initial takedown and an attempt at lay and pray. Now, second round, Hammil once again for most of this round outstrikes Bisping and is more aggressive and shows more octagon control. He also gets some more takedowns. Now, Bisping does win the battle of effective grappling. And towards the end of the round, after Hammil gasses, we start getting a look at Bisping outstriking him. But still, Hammil, I think, clearly wins the round. Now, at this point, he's basically won the fight. In the third round, of course, Hammil with some takedowns. Those give him some points, but once again, without anything to back them up. Bisping's more effective on the ground, more effective on the feet, and also shows more aggression and octagon control at this point, wins the round. But for those of you keeping track at home, this 29-28 Hammil. So I think I've explained my position on that. Takedowns, work points, just not as much as they used to be. But you also have to figure aggression and octagon control. For example, Stephan Bonner, Bobby Southworth, Stephan winning that fight mainly because he kept moving forward, to be quite honest. Otherwise, I thought that needed a third round. For those of you who watched the original season of Tough. Okay, now I'm going to do my top 10 on the light heavyweight division. And this division's in upheaval, so a lot of people are going to disagree with what I have to say because some of the old powers are losing, such as Silva, Rona, Nogueira, Chuck Liddell. Basically, the only guy who kind of remain consistent, and that's going to be the man number 1 on my list, is Mauricio Shogun Rua. Despite losing, despite, maybe being a little inactive and Quentin Rampage Jackson being really, really red hot right now, Shogun is still the standard. He is number 1. Number 2, Quentin Rampage Jackson, before I mentioned. He's on a tear, with a lot of people also kind of not coming up with big fights. 4 out of the top 5 for quite a long time, all losing. So Rampage is up there again. He's up at number 2. Number 3 is Chuck Liddell, lost to Rampage, but what can I say? Like I said, the guys directly behind him also were losing. Vanderlei Silva, kind of the same reason. He's at number 4 on my list. Number 5 is Dan Henderson, even though he just lost to Rampage Jackson. Once again, he's got that big win over Vanderlei Silva very recently, and it was very good against Quentin. So he hangs on to the number 5 spot. Number 6 is Ramon Thierry Sokoju, who has massive wins over Rona and Nogueira, but it's been shown, or at least it had been shown, now we'll see if it's still the case, that if you take him deep into the fight, you'll win, like Glover Teixeira, who's nowhere near the top 10, beat him. So. Number 7, Ricardo Arona, just lost to Sokoju, but before that was on quite a bit of a tear, and the same goes for Antonio Rogerio Nogueira, who's my number 8. He was in line for a shot at Vanderlei Silva's title. Now 9 and 10, this is very, very hard to call. There's a lot of candidates. There's Alistair Overeem, there's Rashad Evans, there's Liro Machida, there's Kazuhiro Nakamura, Tito Ortiz, even Babalu Sobral. They're all guys who you could stick into these spots. But I'm going to go with Kazuhiro Nakamura because he is still, I think, heading up, and Liro Machida because his record kind of speaks for itself. I mean, he's beaten Stephen Bonner, who's, I mean, a decent win, like it or not, and he's also beaten BJ Penn, Rich Franklin, and Nova not in his weight class, but Rich at the time was. I mean, Rich was a legitimate, like, size 205er, so, yeah, there you go. That does my top 10 light heavies. I'll do middleweights whenever I have something to say, or maybe on my next prediction video, which I'm going to do the Elite XC prediction as soon as I get an idea of what that card's going to finally look like, because it's been changing so much. That'll be my next video. And rate, comment, subscribe. If I deem you to just be mindlessly flaming or spamming, I'll remove it, and you wasted a little bit of my time and a little bit of your own time. So, peace.